Do you know someone who's getting ready to have bariatric surgery, maybe just considering it, or even someone who's already been through it? If so, today's all about you. I'm talking to the support people and letting you know how to help out those that you know that have gone through surgery or considering it, and how to keep yourself sane in the process. All right, so for those of you who have someone in your life who is considering bariatric surgery or is getting ready to go through it or has already done so, I wanted to just kind of reach out to you today. We have a lot for the patients, but not a lot for those people that are around us while we're going through all of this. So I talked to a support person who is, his wife has been through bariatric surgery, and he said that the one thing that was really important to him was learning patience. Oh, and by the way, excuse the background. We have our neighbors are painting the house today, so um, sorry for the distraction. So patience. You have to learn patience in a lot of different ways. Um, a lot changes after surgery. So, you know, especially right after surgery, sometimes we can be a little bit, moody, and things are just changing so fast, so drastically, that our emotions are really kind of on edge. And you also have to keep in mind that we like have a big chemical imbalance after surgery. So especially with women, when they remove your stomach, the part of the stomach they remove, especially during sleeve surgery, you're removing completely from the body a giant amount of estrogen. So it really does affect us both chemically and emotionally. So just, understand that if we're a little on edge, a little emotional, it's not meant to be directed towards you. Please just have a little bit of patience while we adjust to all of the changes that are going on in our bodies. So then there's the food factor. So we're usually on a liquid diet. Quite often you have a liquid diet before surgery, and then after surgery, it's usually like clear liquids, full liquids, soft foods, and then solid foods. So there can be several weeks there when we aren't, really eating, and everyone is different after surgery. Some people will be craving food, wishing they could have, you know, anything solid to eat. Other people aren't hungry at all. That was my case. Like, just even with my drinking, I had to remind myself constantly. And that's something um, that a lot of us do. We'll get like a gym boss or some kind of timer and have to set it for every 5 minutes in the beginning to remind us to take a drink, because staying hydrated is really, really important during those first stages. Then, you also take into consideration, for a lot of people, it doesn't bother us at all if you want to sit down and eat, but for other people, right at the beginning, it can be really difficult to see someone, having a full meal and you can't eat anything. And, so just with that, being patient, if you can just have a little bit of consideration, have some conversations, because we aren't really going to know until we're in the situation how we feel about it. So, just especially with things that are just a bad lifestyle choice for us. Bringing donuts into the house, um, chips and snack foods, things like that. Anything that was, something that your person really enjoyed eating but isn't good for them. If that's something you can just kind of lay off of in the beginning, it would be really helpful. Um, you know, that's not to say don't ever eat them, but, maybe not bringing them home right at first, you know. And by all means, if you could stand a little bit of a healthier lifestyle and you're willing to try eating in the way that we have to, that would be great. Um, Not everyone can do that. Not everyone has any interest in that. But, it's not like life is horrible or boring. We eat high protein, low carb, low sugar. And there are plenty of amazing, delicious dishes out there. Um, you can even try looking up, maybe you're the one who cooks in your home. So try going to some of the bariatric websites or going on Pinterest and looking up high protein, low carb diet or recipes, or finding bariatric pages like mine. I have a lot of recipes on there that are bariatric friendly and really, really delicious. So those are all, small things that you can do that are really helpful. I think probably the biggest thing is getting educated. If you can learn along with the person who's actually getting or considering the surgery, it's really, really helpful. Look things up on the internet, watch YouTube, go to a doctor's appointment with them if they're okay with that, or a support group meeting. The more that you kind of hear other people talk, have the ability to ask questions yourself, the more that you're going to understand what's going on, at least to some degree. I know you can't ever fully grasp what someone else is going through if you're not in that position, but getting educated really does help. Plus, if you're along for a doctor's meeting or a support meeting, that really means a lot to the person who's going through it. They don't feel as alone. So, um, as things get further out, just, some big tips. Number one, don't be the food police. We're still human. We're going to make some mistakes. Sometimes we're going to eat a little bit too much. Sometimes we're going to try something that we shouldn't maybe. But, this is our journey. And having someone say, well, you're not supposed to have that, or, well, why don't you have this instead? Or constantly, questioning what we're eating. That's going to make for some difficult conversations, and maybe some attitude. So, if it's really getting off track, by all means, express your concern and, just say, just from listening to what you said in the beginning and paying attention to what I learned, it seems like, you've kind of gone a different direction on your diet. And so I was just curious, what's happening with that, because people do sometimes just, the further out you get, the easier it is to eat more, to eat the wrong things, to get off track. So by all means, express, if you're concerned, but just, don't food police. Just trust us to make it through our own journey. Another thing to consider is alcohol. There was a study that basically showed that 1 in 5 people who have gone through bariatric surgery can end up with an addiction to alcohol or drugs. It is a little bit difficult. One of the hardest parts of this whole journey is learning how to cope with your emotions without burying them in food, which a lot of us, quite honestly, that's what our coping mechanism was. If life is rough, if things are, out of control, eating was a comfort to us. So now with that taken away, having a limited amount you can eat, not being able to eat the same things that you used to for comfort, we have to face life. And, that can be a challenge, learning new coping skills. And not only are you able to, like, you're probably going to feel alcohol harder after weight loss surgery, but your chemicals are all different too. So it can hit much harder, much faster. So alcohol is something to kind of be considerate about because it's easy for people to kind of turn to a new addiction. Um, so, maybe not so much on, don't offer a drink, especially during that first year. Again, don't police anyone, but, you know, keep that in mind. It's hard to kind of try and avoid some of these things because we need to learn coping mechanisms, coping skills to just handle what life throws at us. And it can be a challenge. So as far as eating, when you're going out, check the menus ahead of time. Just look them up online. Make sure that there's something there that, your person's going to be able to eat. Or let them choose where to go, uh, you know, or double check with them to make sure it's okay. At first, maybe they won't want to go out. Like if you're having big meals with friends, they may not want to do that. And, as much as possible, just be okay with that. That you can't drink while you eat, not like anything. We have to stop drinking before our meal and then wait after our meal before we can have liquids because it pushes your food too fast, through your system. And we need the nutrients from our food because the stomach is much smaller. You don't, have the same absorption. And so, you know, we don't want to drink with dinner. And chances are, we're not going to be able to eat much. Maybe get like an appetizer that you'll enjoy, and then you can actually split the meal. If that's something you're okay with, that might be great. Um, and just, take it one step at a time. Also understand another area for patients is that your person's going to eat much, much slower. We have to make sure we chew everything very, very thoroughly. Because like I was just saying, it's not in our digestive system as long anymore. And we have to help that process along, make sure nothing gets stuck in our throats. We have a much smaller passageway to our stomachs. So we have to make sure everything's chewed very thoroughly. And we have to wait in between bites. And we're taking little tiny bites, like, the size of the tip of your fingernail at first, So a meal may take much longer. And, if you can just be patient with that, maybe stick around the table and, enjoy some time together, talking, what have you, while they're eating. That's always nice too. So I guess the big thing here is, for your sanity, communication is key. Everyone is different. So some of these things may not matter to, certain people, and some of them may be a really big deal. So just talk to the person and, see how they feel. And maybe they won't know at first, Maybe they'll have to try it out and see what they're comfortable with. But, it's a learning curve for all of us. So patience and being educated and communication. Those are my 3 biggest tips for being supportive to the person who's going through bariatric surgery or considering it, and to keep you sane in the process. I would love to do a live Q&A on this topic at some point because I really feel like sometimes our support people just kind of get overlooked, and there's a lot of questions there. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back with you and answer that. And let me know if you would be interested in a live Q&A so that we can actually have a discussion and you can ask questions live about, maybe what the person that you're supporting is going through, or how to handle it or issues that it's caused for you personally. Because when you love someone who's doing this, it's not just their journey, it's yours too. And it really can change things and put some pressure on you sometimes. And, you know, you just need to know that there's someone there for you too. You know, a lot of people go through this and you're not alone. And I hope that the few things I've been able to tell you today have been helpful, and that if there's something you're curious about, you'll leave a message or comment below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. I love having support people here as well as people who are on their own health journey. So thanks a lot for stopping by today. I can hear my grandson trying to get my attention in the background, so I'm going to go hang out with him for a little bit, and I will talk to you all soon. All right.